Hi everyone, so this is video number 2. I hope you enjoyed the last video. If you would like to see future videos, make sure to subscribe down below so that you can get notifications whenever a new video is posted. So for this video, I actually would like to dedicate it to go into a little bit more detail about my infertility journey. So I got diagnosed with PCOS, polycystic ovarian syndrome, at a very young age. I was 19 when I got diagnosed with it. I wasn't really given too much information, or any information at all for that matter, at the time. It was just given the saying, well, this is going to cause you to have irregular periods. You might also experience some facial hair, and also some problems trying to conceive when the time comes to it. So, because I wasn't trying to conceive and because I was already having irregular periods, I really didn't give enough thought to it at the time, and I didn't do my research on it either. So fast forward to 2014 when hubby and I decided to start trying to have a baby. We visit my gynecologist, and the next step would be to get on medication so that I would be assisted with trying to conceive. So one of the things that happens with PCOS is that due to the amount of follicles that form in the ovaries, a lot of the times it prevents us from actually ovulating properly. So the first step, it's usually going to be that they give you Clomid to help you ovulate. So they put us on Clomid. Um, we probably tried to conceive with just the Clomid for about 2 or 3 months, maybe more. Just, you kind of lose track and kind of lose count of the amount of times, but they were not successful. So after that, we decided to finally go see a specialist. So in 2015, that's when we decided to seek help, and we got recommendations from different places. We had people who had gone to RMA in New Jersey and were successful. Then we also had people who had gone to RMA in Westchester and were successful. So we looked into possibly going into RMA of New York, to start our infertility journey. So when we got there, it was a pleasant experience, a very organized, very thorough. They run some blood work testings. They make sure to test him. They make sure to test me to make sure that everything that the previous doctors were saying were indeed correct. So of course, yes, I do have PCOS. There were some other minor things that they kind of noticed, and that they started addressing at the time. So before they go into the process of the IVF, they want to make sure that they exhaust other options. So they did 1 or 2 more rounds of Clomid, and they were not successful. Then they went the next step, which was assisted to make sure that I actually released the eggs that were being created. So what they do with that is you take the Clomid to make sure that you're ovulating, and then when you're getting close to your ovulation time, they give you a trigger shot to make sure that the eggs are actually released. So we did, I would say, maybe 3 or 4 months of that, and no success either. So the step after that was to go and do what they call the IUI. And that pretty much what they do is the same steps with the assisted ovulation. They put you on medication to make sure that you're ovulating. Then they make sure to give you the trigger shot to make sure that you actually are going to release the egg. And then what they do is that they take a catheter with his sperm to get it closer to your ovaries, to your uterus, to make sure that they're being assisted to get there, just in case if um, the sperms are not getting there fast enough, and so on and so forth. Is basically eliminating that those issues. So we did, I want to say, about 5 rounds of IUIs. Now, keep in mind that when I say round, I mean 5 months or 5 cycles. Um, so to some, it might not sound like a lot, but that's pretty much almost a good half of the year there. So, since those didn't work, then we decided to go the extra mile, and that, of course, was IVF. So, with the IVF, um, there's two options that you can do with the IVF, or two different routes that you can go with the IVF. One of them is that you could just do a fresh cycle. So pretty much that's when they go in, they retrieve your eggs, get his sperm, put them together, make embryos, and then they would just transfer it into my uterus without testing it and seeing if there's anything wrong with the embryos. So we decided to go that route the first time. So um, we did our first round on June. No, lying. We did our first round in May of 2016. And that was successful. We got pregnant. We were excited. We were over the moon. Unfortunately, that resulted in a miscarriage at 6 weeks. We were devastated. I didn't know what to do, what to think, what to feel. But we wanted to move forward. So we decided to, as soon as the doctor gave us the okay to try again, we decided to try again in July of 2016. That again was successful. Yay! We got excited. Um, the first try, sometimes it happens. So, women experience miscarriage on the first try. This is it. And unfortunately, that resulted in another miscarriage at 8 weeks. With this one, it was a little tougher because we got a little further. So we thought we were getting closer. And unfortunately, we didn't. So as much as we were devastated, we still were in need of wanting to try one more time. As soon as the doctor gave us the okay, we said, okay, let's do this. Let's go on for the next one. So on November of 2016, we went for it again. This time we decided to transfer 2 embryos because at this point we were like, we've already done this twice. Let's just go for it. And unfortunately, that one resulted in what they consider a chemical pregnancy because I got a positive pregnancy test. However, when they started doing the blood work, the numbers weren't high enough. So they pretty much just considered it a chemical. So at that point, I was completely drained. Emotionally, physically, mentally, and even financially. So we decided to kind of take a little bit of a break. We said we're going to take a few months off so that we can recuperate from this. This is a lot. We wanted to move forward, but we needed to be strong for whatever else was going to happen in the future. So after taking the little break in 2017, when we were ready to try again, we decided to go the other route of IVF. And that pretty much, they retrieve the eggs, they put the sperm together with the eggs to create the embryos, and then they send out the embryos that make it past the 5 days to get tested for any abnormalities or chromosomal issues. They retrieved 21 eggs. Out of those 21 eggs, 17 were fertilized, and out of the 17, we got 6 embryos back normal. So we were happy with the results because some people don't get any normal embryos back and they have to go through the whole process again. So 6 is a pretty good number in my eyes. So after we got the results back with the great news about the embryos that we have gotten, we decided to go ahead and transfer. We transferred in, I believe it was either May or June of 2017. And we did get pregnant, but that pregnancy didn't really take well. I got a pregnancy test and it came back positive. When they were doing the blood work, the levels were very, very low. And when I say level, I mean the HCG level, which is the pregnancy hormone level. It wasn't high enough. And it wasn't increasing the way that it was supposed to. So the pregnancy pretty much ended pretty quickly at 5 weeks. Um, 2017 was a very big challenge because we had that one transfer that was not successful, and then every transfer that we were scheduling to do never happened because my hormone levels were completely off whack. Um, so we decided once again to kind of take a break, take a breather, start fresh in 2018. So in February of 2018, we made the decision that we were ready to start trying again. Our levels, or my levels, were finally where they needed to be. Everything was going great. So we did a transfer, and we actually decided to transfer 2 embryos at the time. Both embryos were implanted, and both embryos were growing. One was growing a little bit faster than the other, which usually happens, or sometimes happens when you have multiples. Um, Unfortunately, that one that wasn't growing accordingly completely stopped growing at around 6, 7 weeks, right after we saw a slight fetal pull, but the other one was continuing growing. So we were happy and ecstatic, and we were we were happy because we had gone further than we have ever gone before. So at around 10 weeks of pregnancy, we were able to hear the awesome sounds of my baby's heartbeat. Um, and we were happy, we were excited. We finally decided to tell the closest family members that we had, um, and everyone was happy. But unfortunately, at 12 weeks, the heartbeat stopped. Um, of course, I was devastated. I was very, very devastated because for those of you who don't know, at 12 weeks, 13 weeks, that's kind of where you're around the second trimester, which is the time when miscarriages are decreasing in level. Um, so it was like a blow because it was like we were almost at the finish line and then we fell and we lost the race. So because of that, we decided that 3 years, 5 miscarriages were enough. So we then decided that we were going to change clinics. Not to say that RMA didn't do a great job, but sometimes you just need a fresh set of eyes. So we did our research. We started asking around and looking for a new clinic. My gynecologist suggested that I visit the specialist that was in the location, which we did, and we are very happy that we actually did visit him. So we're currently on the stage of retesting, running tests all over again, running new tests to kind of make sure that we're covering all ends here. We have embryos in storage, so that's a good thing. Because when we're ready, the doctor gives us the okay to start a new cycle. We'll be able to do that. So hopefully by then, I'll be making videos of our pregnancy journey, not so much our fertility journey. So I'm definitely looking forward to that. Like I said before, make sure that you subscribe down below so that you can receive notifications when I do post new videos. Any questions, suggestions, comments that you may have, definitely make sure to write them down below as well. I will try to answer as many questions as possible. I will try to get back to as many comments as possible. I definitely look forward to making more videos for you guys. So definitely give it thumbs up so that I know that you are enjoying the videos. Until next video, have a great day. Stay positive. Stay true.